morning, everybody. On behalf of California State Parks, I want to welcome you to Hearst Castle, one of your 280 California State Parks. My name is Laura. I'm a guide here at Hearst Castle, and we want to welcome you once again to Parks PE. Our theme today, Maritime Momentum. We're going to move with the beautiful ocean breezes of the Pacific Ocean that you just happened to see. Now, before we get started, like we always do, we talk about health and safety issues because your health and maintenance of your safety are our #1 priority here at California State Parks. You'll notice that I'm still wearing my mask. The COVID-19 pandemic continues to rage worldwide, and in accordance with our federal guidelines here in the United States and in the state of California, along with departmental policy with the Department of Parks and Recreation, we are required to wear masks, with one exception. You know what that exception is? That exception is, of course, when we're outdoors exercising. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and remove my mask. I'm going to maintain a good 6 to 8 feet distance away from my camera person, as well as any other staff that you might see up here at Hearst Castle. We do remain closed to the public because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now I'm going to keep that mask close to me, safekeeping, because when we're done today, after 30 or 40 minutes of exercise, I want to put that mask back on. All right, now speaking of exercises, because we are going to be doing about 30 to 40 minutes here today, anywhere from, 10 to 12 exercises, anywhere from 5 to 15 repetitions per exercise. You folks might feel your heart rate elevate, your respiration rate go way up. You might feel a little winded, maybe a little dizzy. If you do, we want you to go ahead and sit it out and then join us for another exercise. You'll also want to go ahead and take a sip off of your water bottle. We really request that you go ahead and grab your own, as we like to say, hydration station water bottle. So when you're feeling a little parched or a little thirsty, you grab a drink, especially when you're taking a rest from some of the exercises. All right, now that being said, a couple other items of interest here. If you are outside like I am, you'll want to go ahead and grab yourself something onto which to protect your knees. I've got some yoga mats out here, or you can grab some grassy area if you're outdoors like me when we come down to the ground. Now, before we go much further, I want to go ahead and ask out there, how many of you are from the great state of California? Raise your hand if you are. All right. The great state of California, of course, is where we are recording this webinar from. Beautiful San Simeon, California. How many of you are from the United States, but outside the state of California? Raise your hand. Okay, we see that there's a couple of people out there from the good old US of A. And then finally, because we are on the World Wide Web here, how many international folks from the great country of Spain, or maybe from the country of Ireland, wherever you're at, Europe, Asia, raise your hand if you're watching us internationally here today. All right. Well, that being said, we're so happy to have you out here today because you are in this beautiful location called Hearst Castle in San Simeon, California. We are about 450 miles to the south, or excuse me, I'm sorry, to the north of Los Angeles, but 450 miles to the south of San Francisco, halfway between San Francisco and LA. And San Francisco was where William Randolph Hearst, the man who created this place, San Simeon, that's where he was born. And he would come down here in the summertime in the 19th and 20th century with his mom and dad, George and Phoebe Hearst. And he always told his mom and dad he wanted to build up here. And finally, about 100 years ago, William Randolph Hearst, at the age of about 56, was able to do so. It was only going to be a 2-year project. Guess what it turned out to be? Almost 30 years. You're going to see pictures of the castle today, along with that beautiful Pacific Ocean that you just saw. And behind us here, you're looking at one of 3 guest cottages called Casa del Mar. That is Spanish for the house of the sea, the house of maritime momentum. And you get a chance to see the front yard view of William Randolph Hearst when he would come here as an adult and as a child to see what he got a chance to see, that beautiful Pacific Ocean. Now, any good exercise program has a warm up to it. And William Randolph Hearst was quite the athlete himself. Not only was he a great athlete, but he was a very wealthy man. He would be what we considered Mark Zuckerberg at this time, or Rupert Murdoch. He was a media giant. Newspaper publishing is what he was primarily known for. He had radio stations, and he even had 2 movie production companies. So in the summer times, he would vacation out here to San Simeon and oftentimes stay at Casa Del Mar while the castle was being built, beginning in 1927. But this was finished in about 1924, and he stayed here with his wife and his 5 children. Now, on the side of Casa Del Mar, you're going to see these beautiful flowers, part of William Randolph Hearst's 20 to 25 acre garden. Those are called bougainvillea. And sometimes, it's a windy day today, so we don't get a chance to see it today, but sometimes you will see butterflies on the bougainvillea. And I want you to think of yourself as a butterfly right now, landing on those bougainvilleas, pollinating those beautiful flowers like they oftentimes do. Now, for our exercises today, I also want you to think about your posture, okay? So before we get started with what I call the bougainvillea butterflies, let's talk about posture. You can do a lot of the exercises today, including this one seated or standing. I'm gonna do this one standing. And if we're gonna be standing, I'm gonna turn myself away from the camera. You wanna go ahead and have what's called a hip or shoulder width stance. Back to the camera, hip or shoulder width stance, and away from the camera. Now you wanna go ahead and pull your shoulders up and back, proud chest. You want to keep your eyes straight ahead, and you want to go ahead and tighten your midsection, so your tummy and your rear end here, okay? And as I turn back to the camera, I want you to think of that butterfly. Big inhale, and extend those butterfly wings, just like that, okay? And butterflies like to flap their wings, so you're going to go ahead and flap the wings and then hug yourself, just like so. Big inhale. Bring those wings back out. Exhale. Inhale in. And exhale out. Just nice and slowly, just to warm up those hearts, those lungs, and those muscles as we get ready to maritime momentum move ourselves, all right? Now, if some of us have trouble with our shoulders, we can do a different kind of exercise than the bougainvillea butterfly. So what we can do is bring those arms down, staying conscious of your posture, up and back with the shoulders. Bring your arms down the side, palms out, thumbs out, and you can just simply go ahead and do a little rotation. Like think of your tetherball equipment at your elementary school. Okay, just like so. And if that is a little too much for you, then go ahead and bring yourself, as I turn myself away from the camera, your hands behind your back, grab a wrist and push down, eyes skyward, and squeeze your shoulder blades together like there's a pencil between your shoulder blades. Big inhale, big exhale, and then switch the hands. Back and forth, just like so. I'm going to turn back to the camera. Those of you that need to do the modification with your hands behind your back or the tetherball swings, you feel free to do that. Otherwise, arms out. I got my arms parallel with the ground. I'm going to go ahead, inhale in, flap my butterfly wings. I can go a little faster to make it more of a challenge. Inhale, exhale. I can also go ahead, as I bring my wings out, go into a squat, just like that. Now, as I squat, you want to make sure you're squatting with your rear end. You don't want to squat with the knees forward or with the knees coming in, okay? So if you're doing the challenge, you're going to come out with that squat and then come up with the inhale, okay? So let's try about 10 of those, 10 more of those. And as I inhale in, we're going to come down to a squat for 1, counting with me, and 2, good, and 3, inhale up, exhale down. Good. Halfway there. Woo. 6 and 7. Good. Number 8. Number 9. Number 10. And there it is. All right. Now, again, remember, if you need to, take a breather, because that, if you did the challenge like we just did, your heart rate's up now too. Okay. Now think about butterflies. How many of you know out there that butterflies were once caterpillars? Raise your hand. You know that butterflies were once caterpillars. Okay, because the bougainvillea butterfly that likes to pollinate those bougainvilleas there at Casa Del Mar were once caterpillars. And you know what caterpillars like to do? Yep, they like to crawl. So here's where you might want to have your mat or your grassy area. And I want you to go ahead and get that good stance, shoulder to hip width stance, shoulders up and back, proud chest, tight rear end, and tight midsection. I'm going to come down into a little bend, a hinge it's called. I'm going to squat back, and put my arms out in front just like so. Palms together. And I'm going to walk it out, crawling out like a caterpillar, a bougainvillea caterpillar, and then I'm going to crawl back in, just like so. Then I come up to the top and come out with my butterfly wings, just like so. So again, it's going to be hand to the side, hinge down, squat, arms out, palms together, and crawl it on out. Hold for a moment, and then come back in with the butterfly wings. Now, for those of you that might have an issue with doing this exercise, then I'm going to show you a modification here as we come back up. Maybe you've got some shoulder issues and you can't walk out with those caterpillar legs, okay? So you can just simply go ahead and hinge. You get a nice little stretch in the rear end there and the backs of your legs. You want to put a little bend in your knees too. If you want more, go into a squat. Okay, so it's a hinge squat combination. You want even more? Hinge squat, arms out in front. You don't put any weight on your hands, but you still exercise your arms, okay? So those of you that want the modification, continue with that. Otherwise, we're gonna try for 5 caterpillars. Here we go. Shoulders up, shoulders back, hinge, squat, arms out, and crawl out. You want more of a challenge? Do a push-up. Push down, push up, walk it back in, come on up, little jump at the top if you want. And down, 4 more. I'm gonna do a little challenge, hold the plank, hold myself like a plank, jump up with my butterfly wings. 3 to go. Just a little warm up here. Enough to get the blood flow. 2 to go. And you might be feeling your heart rate get up, and that's what we want. 1 more. Hinge, squat, roll it out, hold, and walk it on up. There it is, okay? So I'm gonna have our camera person show you some of the beautiful artwork in the rooftop of Casa Del Mar, the House of the Sea. And as he does so, take a look at the baby faces that you see in that rooftop. Now, Mr. Hearst, being the wealthy man that he was, building up here in San Simeon, he loved to collect art. And one of his favorite art pieces were those little babies that you see there, that he actually had his architect and her craftspeople create back in the 1920s. Her name, the architect, is Julia Morgan, first licensed female architect in the state of California. And Mr. Hearst, if he couldn't have the artwork, he'd have her and her craftspeople make the artwork. So the cherub that you see there, C-H-E-R-U-B, the babies there, they're called cherubs. That was one of his favorite art objects. Notice that they have wings up over their head, okay? And I want you to imagine that they have legs, even though you see a leaf coming down from the lower portion of their body. Now that little cherub is the foundation of our next exercise. And what these little guys are called are cherub core rotations. And you can do this seated. I've got this nice little handy marble bench I can sit on, a white marble bench. Mr. Hearst loved the white marble. And you can simply go ahead, put those wings up over your head, your arms of the cherub, and you're going to bring the wing down with the elbow to the knee. Bring the knee up to the elbow. And you're going to the opposite elbow to the opposite knee. So my left elbow goes to my right knee, and my right elbow goes to my left knee, just like so. Now, if you want more challenge, I'm going to go ahead and stand up and do this with my arms up over my head, and the same thing. As I do this, we want to make sure we don't round the back too much. Try to bring your knee to your elbow instead, okay? Just like so. And we just keep our arms straight up overhead. Now, if we cannot do this with the arms up overhead, just simply march in place. March in place. You can also put your arms at your side as you do this. What if you have hip issues? Well, then you can go ahead and come down like so. Come down or alternate like you're pumping your arms. All right. So choose the modification you want. We're going to do 15 cherub core rotations, seated or standing. Here we go. And we go for 1 because we're going to do both sides. 2, 3. Exhale as you come in. 5, 6, and 7. Number 8. Number 9. 10. 5 to go. Woo! 3, 2, and 1. There it is. Easy. Okay. Now you may have noticed when you were looking at the beautiful cherub art items in the rooftop. These blue tiles, you might have noticed. Now those blue tiles have embedded within them lions. You'll see two lions. They're in opposite directions facing each other. And in the middle, this little four-way, almost crucifix-looking panel as well. Well, Julia Morgan created, along with her craftspeople, created many of those tiles. She actually would hire workers from a place called the Faience Factory in Berkeley, California, just a little bit close to San Francisco, where she had her architectural firm. And she helped to create those tiles. And Mr. Hearst loved lions. In fact, not only did he love lions, you're going to see a lot of them throughout the grounds here. When you're able to come back up here and see us in public again, he also had lions in his zoo. Yep, Mr. Hearst actually had a zoo. And the lions are going to form the foundation for our next exercise. So I've got my mat back on the ground again. So we're going to get on all fours. Okay, so think of yourself as a lion. We'll go in that little hip hinge like we did with the bougainvillea caterpillars. Squat down, arms out in front, and we'll just crawl on out, nice and easy. Okay, we want to make sure that our knees are right under our hips, wrists, elbows, shoulders, all nicely aligned. Okay, you got about a shoulder width stance with your arms. And you can just simply hold it right there and roar like a lion, roar like a lion. Just keep everything nice and tight. All the muscles in your tummy, all the muscles behind here, also tight, and in your arms. Roar! You want a little bit more challenge? How about a little what's called a cat arching its back into a cow pose? Because after all, when you arch your back like a cat, that's what lions are, they're cats. And then out like a cow. Now, why do we call this a cow position? Because Mr. Hearst had cows on his ranch. He has a ranch here too. It still exists today. And cows like to look to the sky and say, moo. As they do so, they arch their back. So meow or roar and moo. Okay, so we can do a meow and a moo. Now, if that little lion exercise is not enough for you, how about if we do what are called lion climbers? That's going to require us to put our hands all the way to the end of our mats. We're going to get fully stretched out, come up on our toes. And again, wrists, elbows, shoulders, all aligned. And we're going to run in place like a lion or climb like a lion. It's called a lion climber. You can do this nice and fast or walk it out. Make it more challenging. Opposite knee to the opposite elbow. All right, I'm going to run in place. Are we ready? For 15, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! On all fours, pop it up. Because guess what? We have got to talk about the castle now. Let's grab some water if we need to and catch our breath as our photographer, our videographer shows us the beautiful castle that Mr. Hearst and his architect, Julia Morgan, built. Took 30 years to build, and they still didn't finish it. But that still looks like a pretty good finished product, doesn't it? You're looking at the castle that holds over 100 bedrooms there, if you can believe it. Excuse me, 100 rooms, some of which are bedrooms. And you're looking at the two towers there that hold what are called carillon bells. 18 bells in each tower for a total of 36. And from ground to the top of that tower, either tower, is 137 feet. Think of 3 school buses. Think of a school bus, your yellow school bus that you might ride to and from school, and end to end. So from the back of the bus to the front of the bus, and standing up on the back of the bus, 3 of those would be the length of Hearst Castle Tower, if you can believe that. Now, with that being said, I want you to imagine yourself as the castle, okay? This will also help us catch our breath a little bit too. It's a little stretching exercise. Now, so your body is the castle, and you're gonna bring your 2 arms up like this. So you're squaring off your elbows, and those arms are the towers, okay? Now, think about your posture, shoulders up, shoulders back, shoulder width stance, okay? And you're gonna say goodbye and hello. Goodbye and hello. Now, if this is too much for your shoulders, we can always go ahead and do what we did earlier with the bougainvillea butterfly. Go back and turn myself away from the camera, grab a wrist, press down, eyes skyward. You still get the same stretch. You just alternate with that good posture and stretch, just like that. Otherwise, as we come back to the camera, we're going to go ahead and put those arms up, those towers, those bell towers, say goodbye and say hello, and say goodbye and say hello. So one goodbye and one hello is one repetition. If you want more challenge, as I turn away from the camera, you can go into a hip hinge when you say goodbye and come up when you say hello. Let's try 15 of those with the hip hinge. 1, counting it down, and 2, and up. Inhale down, exhale up. 4, and up. And 5, keep that back nice and flat. 6, and up. 7, and up. 8, really good posture. 9, and 10. I believe I said 15. So we're going to go for 5 more. 2, 13, and 14. 1 more. 15. There it is. All right. We talked about those lion tiles a little bit ago. I'm going to take a little bit of a walk over here, and our videographer, our cameraman, is going to focus in on some of those tiles here. Way down here, you're going to see what looks like an 8-shaped figure, and in between them are chickens. Yep, Mr. Hearst had a ranch, as I said earlier. He had chickens on his ranch. He had a poultry ranch. And of course, he wanted a little flavor of the ranch, as we might say, up here at the castle. So Julia Morgan and her craftspeople helped create the chickens that you see in the tiles there, along with the 8-point figures that you see there too. Now the chicken is going to be the basis of our next exercise. You might have noticed that their stance, they're doing what we call a split squat, just like this. Okay, it's a balance exercise, it's a core exercise. And you just switch your legs as you do this. Now I'm going to come straight onto the camera because we want to make sure as we come down in that lunge or split squat, your knee is right under your ankle and your hip is aligned with your knee. So we don't want to have the knee going in or the knee going out too much. You want to bring your shoulders up and back, okay? And what I'm doing is I'm stepping forward and then I'm stepping back with the opposite leg. It does take balance. So if this is too much for you, you can always come down to a chair and do a 2-legged squat. So a 2-legged squat instead. Just make sure as you squat, you're not squatting like this. You're not rounding your shoulders, okay? You're sitting back. So if you're near a chair, just make sure that your rear end is just tapping the chair as you come up. If you want more than just the squat, you can squat and then jump. Squat and jump, arms up overhead or not, okay? Otherwise, we'll go back to that chicken lunge. And again, chicken lunge, shoulders up and back. Notice my squared leg in the front, my squared leg in the back. I hold it for a second or two and come back. You give it more challenge by going a little faster. Arms up in the air as you come up. For more of a challenge, get your heart rate going. You want more of a challenge? Come down and rotate. Oh, as you see, if I rotate, the balance exercise. And rotate like you're rowing. All right, we're going to try 5 more with each leg. 5, inhale up, 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. I still got 5 more because I've got 2 legs. 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. All right, if I confused you there, I apologize. We got to do 5 each leg there. So I kept going back and forth. Now the heart rate might have gotten up there a little bit, but that's okay. We're taking a little walk along this beautiful south terrace of Hearst Castle. We're going to walk away from Casa Del Mar. And as we do so, enjoy some of the beautiful horticultural objects, the plants, in other words, of Mr. Hearst's garden that Julia Morgan, his architect, also helped him design. And we're going to continue taking a look at that beautiful background shot of Casa Grande, the castle, the big house, otherwise known as in English, or Casa Grande in Spanish. And we're going to come down to another set of stairs and take a look at some more of those tiles that Julia Morgan and her craftspeople helped create at the Faience factory in Berkeley, California. Now you'll notice that every other step has bunny rabbits embedded in the tiles there. And how many of you like bunny rabbits? Raise your hand if you like bunny rabbits. Well, think about what bunny rabbits like to do. They like to eat carrots. They like to eat a lot of plants. They might even like to eat your parents' gardens and their items in those gardens. But as an exercise, what do they like to do? They like to hop. So we're going to go ahead and do just what these bunny rabbits do. We're going to hop, 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 hop. So some of us might have issues with hopping. So the exercise I want you to go ahead and think about then, with your feet together, shoulders up and back, is just simply coming up and down on your toes. So up and down. Inhale up, exhale down. That might be just perfect for you. And you can go ahead and sit down and do this too. That way what you're doing is you're exercising this back muscle here called the calf muscle. Okay, as I turn back to the camera though, the bunny rabbit likes to hop, 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 hop. You can make it nice and slow, hop, or nice and fast. You can also go ahead, watch this, do a little turn, do a little turn, do a little turn, do a little turn. Don't make yourself dizzy, go the opposite direction. Turn and hop. That's right. That's right. All right, let's try 15 hops, nice and deep, nice and slow. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Woo! I got your heart rate up. Now, bunny rabbits, not only embedded in the tiles, they also run around on the ranch. Sometimes we see them up here at the castle. And there's an animal also on the ranch that likes bunny rabbits a little too much. They like to have them for dinner. And that's called the California brown bear. And as we come over here to our other mat, we're going to come down and do what's called a bear crawl. Okay? So, you want to put those feet nice and steady. By breathing hard like me, that's fine. Shoulders up, shoulders back. Proud chest, tighten the midsection, come into the hinge. We're going to come down, just like we did with the caterpillars and the lion climber. Get out onto all fours, okay? And we're simply going to hold the position like that. Just like with the modification of the lion climber, wrists, elbows, shoulders tight, just hold. You can roar. I'm not sure what kind of noises that bears make, but I think they roar. Just roar. You feel all that energy leaving from your abdomen here, from your tummy. Roar. Okay, you want more challenge? Come up into this. It's called a bear crawler. It's called a stationary bear crawler. We're just staying in place. Okay, nice balanced core exercise. You can see that my right leg is shaking a little bit. We can also do a little lateral movement side to side like a spider, because bears like to climb side to side. They like to walk side to side. Or we can go forward. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. Backwards, right foot. Left hand. Left foot, right hand. I'm going to hold in place and roar. 15 seconds. Roar. 5. Roar. 10. Roar. 15. Bring it down. Easy, easy, easy. All right. We're going to pop it on up. And we're going to get a chance to see one of the Greek gods and goddesses' children. Have that photo. Take a little march along this beautiful south terrace of the beautiful Hearst Castle property. You get a chance to see the castle again. And we get a chance to see 400-year-old Cupid on a dolphin. Now, if you ask me, Cupid doesn't look any older than 2 or 3 years of age. And he was the child of the god of war, Mars, and the goddess of love, Venus. Cupid, you might be familiar with. He likes to shoot bow and arrows. into the hearts of unsuspecting people, and they fall in love. Well, it looks like that's what Cupid's trying to do here, is shoot his bow, shoot his arrow actually from his bow. So it looks like he's trying to hit the tower up there, that left-hand tower. So we're going to do the same thing. And as you kind of see there, Cupid is a little bit in a split stance, just like so. And he's got his left arm back and his right arm in front. He's pulling on that arrow, okay? Really good stretch for the back. Really good stretch for the rear end. Really good stretch for that front leg. Straight ahead. Boom. Let go of that arrow. Now, bring that left hand up like so. Bring the left arm, or excuse me, left leg in, and come back this way. Woo! So I've got my right hand and my right leg back, and switch it up, just like so. Now, if you cannot do this exercise, which requires balance, a little bit of cardio, that's okay. What you can do is come on down and either just shoot the arrow, alternate your arms, but if you have shoulder issues, you can just alternate your legs, kind of like the chicken lunge we did a little bit ago, just like that, okay? So let's try 5 more on each arm. So as we come back, that left arm back, left leg back, woo! Woo! I don't know if an arrow makes that noise, but we're doing that noise anyway. That was 1. Woo! Woo! That's 2. Hold that arrow. Woo! Woo! Number 3. You can see it's a bit of a balance. Woo! Woo! Last one.